My name is Dejine Edouard, and this is the Uplift with Dej, where we'll be having thought-provoking and fun conversations, discussing topics such as God's love, His power and authority, family, romance, finances, and culture, just to name a few. The goal here is to make you laugh, cry tears of joy, reflect, but most importantly, uplift and speak life into you. So, since you're here, grab a seat and enjoy.
Hey guys, happy Sunday and welcome to the Uplift with Dej. Today's episode is going to be a little different because it is going to be a
girl chat.
Okay. So before we start, we're going to open up in prayer. Lord, I come before you, Father. I thank you for this amazing Sunday. I pray that the start of this week is an amazing one. I pray that our conversation that's about to take place uplifts and also allows everyone to laugh a little. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Guys, I have my little sister with me. Her name is Rhuby Toussaint. All right. She just graduated from Howard University. She is currently a paralegal and she is running a catering business called Star Cuisine. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And she caters to vegans and pescatarians as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We take care of everybody.
She takes care of everyone. And listen, we Haitians, so you got it's that good seasoning. All right.
That's the key. That's what I was just telling my friend today. I was like, the good to eating healthy is actually good seasoning. That's how you eat healthy. Because if you could season your vegetables good and all your food good, you don't have to worry about nothing.
Yes. And then you'll enjoy it. You don't have to be like forcing yourself to.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh. So, guys, it's going to be exciting and fun. I'm glad you get to meet my little sister. Are you ready to start, Rhuby?
Yep.
All right, let's start with cheers.
All right, cheers.
Okay, guys. Okay. So, what I wanted to discuss today, right? Well, one of the first topics that I wanted to discuss is something that a friend of mine, right, Rhuby, we were talking about it the other day. So, she is dating someone, right? But she is still cool with her ex. And she was telling me how sometimes he brings her food, if he's like going past a restaurant that he knows that she likes.
Okay.
He'll get her food and bring it to her, or she'll have her mail delivered to his house because she feels like her area is not the safest and they might steal her packages, if it's valuable.
That's real. Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I thought it was a little weird. A little weird because we were talking. I'm just kind of like, your boo knows about this? She's like, yeah, he knows. He's okay with that. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever floats your boat. That's fine with you. And she's like, wait, what? You see something wrong with that? And I'm like, girl, that's my opinion. Every relationship is different. But for me, I just feel like it's very unnecessary to be like that close with an ex. Like, I just don't see, like, if I was in her shoes, I would find another way to get my mail sent out. And I don't want your food. And it doesn't have to be static either. It doesn't have to be a bad breakup. I just don't see the reason for it. I see it as inappropriate. And then we had to agree to disagree because we came to the conclusion that it's relative to each couple is appropriate versus inappropriate and respectful versus disrespectful in their relationship.
Right.
What do you think about this whole thing? Like,
so first, I think my first thought was when you said that it's very unnecessary. I think that was the key word because it's not really like necessary. I feel like it's not a negative thing, but it's like, you don't got no other friends.
Yeah.
Like I think it raises a red flag, like, for somebody, but that's just me outside of the relationship. So that goes back to you saying it's relative. Like, I think it's definitely based off what you're comfortable with. Like, I don't know, but like, let's say if I was in a situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like if I'm dating someone and it also like alarmed me. No, not alarm, but like it also, it caught my attention that you said that he knows about it. Her boyfriend knows about it. So it's like,
If he knows about it, you're not moving sneaky. You're not doing nothing crazy. You know, everything's out in the open.
Yes.
And I think that's also important because I also believe that nobody owns nobody. Like if I was friends with my ex, if that person meant that much to me to the point that he's still in my life right now, and when we get together in a relationship, I'm not going to drop that person, then that it is what it is. However, I would want my boyfriend to draw the line somewhere. Like I would want him to be like, I would want him to get defensive, you know, not like crazy. And that's just my personal opinion. Like, that's just my personal opinion. I like somebody who's like protective and, you know, not in an unhealthy way, but a healthy way. So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
So that's why I say it's a to each his own type of thing.
Right.
Because when she said it, I'm like, girl, you can have your mail sent here. Like, she's like, you're all the way in Long Island. Like, why would I make you go through that? Like, why would I want to, you know, troop all the way over there every single time I get a mail? Whatever. She had every reason, but I didn't.
She lives in Brooklyn?
She lives in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So, I'm like, you know, if it works, it works. You know, I'm not about to have you readjust your whole lifestyle or whatever, you know, if it's convenient and it works in your relationship. But here's another thing that she said that was kind of like, no, that's not how I meant it. She was like, well, you know, what's wrong with being friends with your ex? And I'm like, well, what's not wrong with it? Like, you have history. You have history. And that's kind of like, I'm not saying that, you know, it's gonna lead to something, but you're kind of dancing around with the possibility.
Yeah, I think, because I don't know. I feel like I haven't been in enough relationships to say like the whole friends with ex things, like how that works. Because I see that it works for some people, and I see it in the movies. I don't know if that's real, but I don't know how that would work because most of the time, like if things aren't working, I mean, I guess now I feel like more mature relationships, like things that I've like broken off, like at this point, like it's usually sometimes mutual and it's like, you know, it's no bad beef, no bad blood. It's just, you know, okay, this is not working, you know? So that's like, I feel like maybe in that instance, but even then, if I didn't want to be in a relationship with you, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't know.
So here's my thing. My concept of drawing the line has nothing to do with the bad breakup. It has nothing to do with being staticky.
It's just about the level of respect.
That's about principle. I feel like that's just principle. Like, I'm moving on. Even if I don't have a new boo, I just feel like, why am I still holding ties with you? I feel like holding ties with you is blocking my new boo from coming to me, blocking my blessings, kind of. Like, that's my mental, you know?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. But I do feel like certain people, like sometimes you just have those people that you just know you meet and you're like, yeah, you're never going to really be out my life for real. I feel like I see a deep bond. You know, I feel like some people, they just feel like that's what exists. I feel like now I see things a little differently. I feel like, because I used to think that way. Like I used to think like that, but now I be feeling like anybody could go. Anybody could go. You know, it's like there's no need to hold on.
Let me make it clear.
If it's not serving you.
Let me make it clear. I'm not saying, right, we're not together. You're cut off. You're dead to me. I'm not saying all of that. Like, I don't, like, for example, let's say I dated someone that I worked with. I can still work with you. I'm not about to quit or tell you got to leave. It's not that deep. We just don't got to be up under each other. We don't got to have to, like, we don't have to find
boundaries. It's boundaries.
We don't got to be taking out lunch breaks together no more. Like, I'm still going to say what up to you. If you ask me how I'm doing, I'm going to tell you I'm good. I'll probably even catch up with you on like your life. How you doing? How you been? What's new? But as far as exchanging numbers, you know, call me sometime. To me, it's just not necessary. And in her mind, again, necessary is relative. Because to me, she might be saying that's necessary. I want my mail secured.
And you know what? Also, I'm thinking is like, if the person's going to be in your life, I guess they got to be useful.
That's true.
Like, so what else are you going to do? You know?
That is true. I mean, you know, and also when I told her about the whole thing about dancing around with, you know, just kind of with somebody that you have history with, she was like, well, it kind of sounds to me like you don't trust yourself. And I was like, it's not necessarily I don't trust myself, but if you really want to be for real, we shouldn't trust ourselves. We're only human. So why would
That's real, because temptation exists regardless.
Temptation exists. So why are we pretending, oh, you know, you sound like you don't trust yourself? No, why we not being
act like I'm stronger than I am?
I mean, listen, here's my thing. I think the beginning of someone's weakness is when they start feeling like they got this. Like, I think that's when you really...
That's real. That's real.
That's the beginning of your weakness. When you are not woke and aware that you're human and anything can happen, that's when your weakness begins. When you're on some, I got this, you know, I trust myself. I'm not going to let it go there. It's never going to go there. Like, if you're talking like you got it all together, that's when you really start to see, okay, weakness is starting to creep in. You don't see it yet, but trusting yourself too much. And I don't know. It's just, it's all relative. I'm just happy to be with somebody that thinks the way I think. So we know that line is drawn.
Right.
You feel me? So again, just like I had
to each his own. Right.
That's how I had to end it off with her. Like, you know what, girl, I'm not trying to convict you into my belief, and you're not convicting me into your belief. It works for you and yours. This works for me and mine. To each his own.
And that's the end.
And that was the end. But now that we're on the topic of couples, right? So when people find the one that it works with, right? Their way of living and the way of thinking, they find the person that's for them. You know, it leads to marriage. It leads to children.
Babies in the baby carriage.
And if you plan on having a baby in America, take a look at this. All right. Something I came across on social media.
What does this mean if you're going to raise a baby? How would you be able to change your child's diaper? Because the second you change the diaper, of course, you'd no longer be able to pretend that there was a question about whether this was a boy or girl. You would know.
Well, it's not about pretending. The parent definitely knows the gender. It's about not necessarily labeling the baby. It's about allowing the baby to decide what gender that baby wants to be when that baby can decide, which is around 4 years old. So from 0 to 4, the baby will not be labeled. The labeling theory will not apply from 0 to 4 years old. The baby will be a baby, neither a boy nor a girl.
Yeah. So apparently across America, it is a new thing to keep your baby's gender hidden. And instead of calling them a baby, they're calling them theybies. The concept behind this is that a baby should choose a person should choose their own gender. They're saying around the age of 4, you know, is when you start to identify boy versus girl. You know, you start to identify your interests in life, or whether it be trucks or Barbies. So they're saying that around the age of 4 is when you see what the child starts to gravitate towards, and that's how they'll be identified. Yeah. What do you think about this?
Honestly, the first thing I thought was confusion, because I just think there's like too many like new things happening lately, and it's like adding a lot of confusion. And then it's adults figuring it out, but they're trying to subject this to now children.
Yeah.
And I don't have any kids, so I be feeling like, I don't know how these parents are feeling, like, but in my opinion, I'm just like, I feel like this would only further confuse a child. Like, I feel like because of the way the society is already, I think trying to implement this is going to add confusion. I feel like it's not going to really serve its purpose. And then how does the child go about choosing? Like, what makes them choose? What factors make them choose? I'm confused.
I'm confused myself, let alone a 4-year-old. Rhuby, I can't agree with you more. I'm confused as a 29-year-old, so I can only imagine a 4-year-old. So the guy in the video was saying, okay, what else do you think we should let 4-year-olds do? Should we let them vote? Let them drink. You know, he was being funny. But I think the point he was trying to make was that is a lot to put on a toddler to determine the gender that they are going to be for the rest of their lives. I mean, like you said, it is adults leading this whole thing. And I say, why not? Like, if you want to do the shenanigans you're doing, right? Why not let a person grow up to be an adult and choose their way, make a decision for themselves, you know, whether they're going to go this way, that way, this way, that way, this way. Why are you telling me? Because you made an amazing point. Why are we imposing this on the children? This really
Yeah, because at the same time, you have to think, like, they're not thinking about these things. Like, for real. There's the energy you took to try to block your child from choosing boy or girl, calling them babies, all that energy, I feel like could be used for something way much more useful to make sure that the child is developing correctly and make sure that the child is developing a healthy self-identity, because that's what it's about. Like, it's all about the identity. You want your child to be able to feel like they should be able to express themselves how they should, which is correct. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that saying nothing and letting a child choose at 4 years old is the solution to that.
When you bring out the hands, you know you're talking to a New Yorker, like a 4-year-old. I can tell this is getting you tight. You like, Well, Rhuby, I went a step further, right? And I typed in the hashtag theybies on Instagram to see what it would lead me to. And when I did that, I saw a few babies. You know, obviously it was the parents posting them. And in their hashtags, they would put hashtag theybies. And these babies, I see that the parents are going to they're going to the extreme lengths to make sure that there is no specific, because I noticed that there wasn't really like pink or blue
and that's when I'd be like, you worried about the wrong things. Like colors.
There was a boy, and the reason I know he was a boy is because I don't know. I just kind of looked at him and I was just like, oh, he looks like a boy. I could have been wrong, but in the comments, people were saying
he didn't choose yet.
Yeah, he didn't choose yet. In the comments, right? I read and people were saying he's so cute, and I'm guessing they knew him, right? But what's amazing, right, is that he had a turban on. So the mom obviously wanted to, like, you could tell she's proving a point with the way she dresses him. She's not dressing him in any specific way. So, as for those who don't know, turbans are usually what women rock in their hair when they tie their hair up. You know, because Shiloh has a few of them. I ordered a few from Amazon when she was born. So he literally looked like Shiloh. You know, but they were saying he, and I was just like, I guess that's their way of proving their point. And when he's 4, he'll determine if he wants the turban or the fitted. I don't know. Moving along. Moving along. Okay, well, since we are talking about raising babies in America, it's only right to talk about the president of America, right? He's been in office for 3 weeks now. And in a matter of 3 weeks, in a matter of 3 weeks, he has been pushing his pen, girl. He's been signing off on executive orders day after day. And if you just kind of look through social media, there's people that's like, yes, Biden, push that pen. And then there's other people who's kind of like, not impressed. They're like, well, when are you going to address evictions? When are you going to address, you know, people who lost their jobs, you know? And I guess he's not getting to the economy part of things for people. I even saw someone go to the extreme and say, oh, he's helping everyone but Black people, which was mind-boggling because, you know, he has been doing some immigration stuff and most of the people that are immigrants are Black. But okay, you know, Caribbean, they like to separate and differentiate. I don't know, whatever. Anyway. So I just wanted to ask you, on the spectrum of, yes, Biden, push that pen, or I'm not impressed, where do you fall on that spectrum?
I think I'll say I'm neutral. And I'm neutral because I'll say this. Because politics, I'll be very just like, I used to be really into it. And then like, no. Then I just started seeing things about the government and this last election. Like, I know everybody knows this last election was just really like, everybody's sipping their tea and just watching and watching and watching. So I actually didn't participate in the last election. I was completely done. And honestly, I've just been watching and seeing what is really going to happen. I didn't even think they were going to get Trump out of office. I was like, the way things were moving.
Yeah.
And now seeing Biden now, I would say I had very low expectations for him. I'll say that. I had very low expectations for him. So the things that he are doing now, I would say I hope it's helping our people. Like, I hope it's helping us. But it's also that this is not something that we need to be looking to, like, for all the answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people's disappointment comes from expecting much from him and expecting much from him. Like, you know? So it's like there's only so much that he can do in his power. Don't get me wrong, very powerful people up there.
Yeah.
But also only so much that they can do. And so much that we need to rely on them to do. Like, there's so much that we need to be doing on our own. So
I love that. I love that last point. Yes, preacher. Yes, preacher. But you know, I totally agree. I feel like on that spectrum, I'm somewhere in the middle because I'm not easily impressed. Just in general. I'm just a one eye open type of person, sleeping with a one eye open type of situation. Like, that's just how I am. And I mean, you know, okay, push that pen, I guess. But at the same time, it's like I'm just still observing.
Right.
I got my eyes and praying. Like you said, there's a lot we need to be doing. So you're right. You know, I do have my eye on you. I'm praying. I'm respecting you as a leader. I'm making sure like I'm being diligent. I'm being respectful as a citizen and all this other stuff. Yeah, so moving along.
I like that face.
You feel me? I'm smiling.
Yo, I don't know how to do that. Smizing? Okay. Yes. It's giving face. It's giving face.
So they say diamonds are a girl's best friend. How do you feel about some diamonds, baby?
I love diamonds.
You love diamonds? So if I hand you, let's say, a pink diamond, how would you feel?
I'll be very happy. I like any colored diamond. If you're giving me diamonds, I'm happy. I'm trying to up my jewelry.
Yeah.
Oh.
But what if I gave it to you for your forehead?
No.
No? Why not, girl?
I don't know about that one.
Well, apparently, for those who don't know, this is Lil Uzi Vert, a rapper, and just a couple of days ago, he revealed that he's been spending months putting down on this $24 million pink diamond. Okay. I was amazed at the amount, but I was even more amazed of where he chose to get it first. Yeah. So let me get this off my screen, child, because I cannot. Anyway, girl, what is the world coming to? How do you feel about this piercing? You're not gonna get nothing in the middle of your forehead?
That's not my cup of tea.
No?
Not my cup of tea. I would put it on my ears.
Right.
So many other places I would put it besides my forehead.
Right. $24 million though. Let's talk about it. Is it
okay?
Like, I mean, again, to each his own.
Right.
But let's talk about it.
Right. Me, $24 million. Okay, so here's how I look at it. One way, I'm like, if you got it, then do what you gotta do. That's what you want to do. Then do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
To each his own.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't spend my money that way.
Yeah.
And do I think it's probably smart? I don't know. I feel like it has to be very situational. But 9.99 out of 10, this probably wasn't a smart move to spend $24 million, just like financially. But
What is it? Okay.
Each his own.
I guess my real question here is, what is it about society these days that is like, they are forcing you, they're forcing their bag, like, it's like they want you, it's like, okay, so they're trying to be subtle with letting you know, I got the bag. Not really, I'm lying. Also, they're trying to let you know, I got the bag.
I got the bag.
If you ain't know. So as soon as you see it's like, I just feel like some people don't do things mindlessly. I feel like that is well thought out. You don't just wake up one day and say, I want a piercing in my forehead.
That is very well thought out.
And if you're saving months and months for this 24, I mean, we'll get to the amount later, but if you're saving months and months for this ring, I'm sure you thought out, it was well thought out of where you're getting it pierced, right? So I'm like, what's the concept of this? I feel like this right here is because this is you. I want you to see this. Right here, it might get a little hidden. You might not see it. It might bypass you. If I'm in the same room as you, you might not pay attention to it. But here, ain't no missing it. I'm like, what is it with society that's like in your face? I want you to know you're not on my level.
I think it's like the pride. It's the wanting to show off. It's that little ugliness that's inside of all of us that
right.
just be going overboard.
Yeah.
Don't have no filter with some people. I think that's what it is.
You're right. We do have it all in us. I think some to a much higher level than others. But you know what this is giving me? This is giving me Birkin bag challenge. Do you remember a few months ago? There was war on social media about, oh, you got to get the Birkin. If he don't get you a Birkin, he don't love you. You know, all these rappers talking about get your girl a Birkin. You know, it was Birkin.
And half of them be fake.
I feel like this is about to turn into the Birkin challenge. Like, it's like, because it's like,
I wonder if Uzi has started a trend. Like, I really just wonder.
Would you be surprised?
I wouldn't.
Girl,
nah.
To
be honest, I wouldn't be surprised.
Ruby, think about it. Remember, it was tattoos. We were surprised when they were getting tattoos on their faces. We were like, what? The face is so precious. Why would you get it on your face? You know, even Amber Rose got a tattoo on her face. I'm like, what the heck is happening here? You know, but would you be surprised now if the piercing on the face is a new, like, I'm not saying it just started. Don't get me wrong. People been piercing faces, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about like this blatant, bold, dramatic situation going on here. You would be surprised if this was a trend? I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's I don't know if I want to say it's sad, but again, this is my opinion and it's my show. Fight me. But I just feel like we are just putting too much. Like we out here making people. Well, not we, but these celebrities are out here making people question whether they have it or not, whether they've made it or not. They're measuring their partner's love for them based off of what they purchased for them. They're questioning their love in the relationship because they haven't gotten a Birkin bag or a car, you know. And then it's like, I don't know, man. We're just not valuing the real, like you said in the first segment when we talked about, well, the second segment, we talked about theybies. Like, we could be doing so much, like, we could be sending a better message. Like, we could be doing something else with our time.
And that's literally it. Like, we could just be doing something else. Like, for real. Like,
to have a platform of that capacity.
$24 million. There's so many other, it's your money.
Okay, right? No static. It's your money.
No static.
Don't fight me for real. I said fight me, but I was joking.
But it just be like, damn, I personally have 24 million other things I could have done with that money.
Do you hear me? Oh gosh. Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you for sipping tea with me today, Rhuby.
I love this tea.
We had an amazing episode, and listen, before you guys get out of here, so what did we learn today? Let God choose the gender of your baby. Don't spend $2 million on diamonds. I mean, do what you want. Give Biden a chance. Do what he got to do. And what else? And to each his own in your relationship, whatever.
That was the theme. That was really the theme.
Honestly, that first topic really kind of, that's the
It set the tone.
To each his own at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cheers to that. To each his own.
Thank you so much, Day Day.
Thank you for joining me. I love you, darling.
Love you too.
Everyone, I hope you loved Girl Chat as much as I did. And if you remember in the beginning, I mentioned that Rhuby has a catering business, which explains why you are viewing all this deliciousness on your screen right now. If you have any private dining needs or catering needs, please feel free to contact Rhuby on her Instagram page at Star Cuisine, which is StarRcuisine. All right, pick up your jaws, wipe your mouth, and holla at Rhuby. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, please stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube, which is The Uplift with Dej, and following us on Instagram at The Uplift with Dej. Have a blessed day and see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. Invite a friend.